if the only relationship that you have enforced with the opposite sex is how they can serve as a conduit for your sexual pleasure, it will show on your face. It is felt in your presence. I don't know if you guys, this is big UK culture law. This gentleman here is from the In-Betweeners. His name is Jay. Now, if you're not from the UK, you're probably not going to get the reference. But people from the UK, or if you've watched the show, will get the reference. But this guy was the guy in school, in college, in high school, if you're in the States, which every single conversation you would have with him was colored by how many girls he slept with, who he's currently sleeping with, who's he's going to sleep with next. Every single conversation revolves around the subject matter. And it is, from an objective standpoint, it is absolutely repulsive. It is despicable behavior. It's very, very ugly. From a UK comedy perspective, it's genius. It's genius because it hits the nail on the head. I'm sure there is a J in your group, or was a J in your group at school, at college, at high school, wherever you went. I had a J in my group, and this guy got nowhere with women. Every single story he would tell you about him sleeping with a girl or having sex with a girl, it was a lie. It was a lie. It was fabricated. It was embellished. This guy sucked with women, but according to him, very, very sexually successful. And the reason why is the preface I just made. As a woman, a man that is constantly slobbering all over us and up our arse talking about sexual things or trying to is just so annoying. It's repulsive. It pushes them away. No different here. So SR giving you a far more desirable and attractive personality. This is the inspiration for the video here today, gentlemen, from SLVBTC. When you ejaculate, you put so much emphasis on sexuality and sex appeal, so much that it makes you extremely jealous because all you care and think about is intercourse. It makes you think sex is more important than it actually is, which makes you care about everything sexual. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole post. I've kind of parsed and teased out some of the valuable points here. But I want to get to the crux of the video, the point that you all want to hear me extrapolate on, which is this idea that when you practice SR, you no longer think about sex. Of course, you have to get over that initial reflex or flatline period where your body is going, I'm not sourcing any dopamine from PMO anymore. I need it. You have these crazy dreams that feel like your REM cycle has petrol poured on it. It's crazy. Really, really intense sexual dreams. After you get over that and you start to recalibrate the body and teaching it, well, no, this is not normal. We're going to come back to baseline. Just hold on. Let's get through it. You then start to realize or interpret a smile just being a smile, not as a ploy to indicate some kind of sexual advances. That conversation was just a conversation. You no longer feel jealousy because you no longer think about sex, meaning you no longer think about other people, are only thinking about sex. SR purifies your personality. You become patient, understanding, and most important, you stop being jealous. You stop attributing sexual malice to your partner's healthy interactions with other males. Now, I wanted to go a little bit further. I wanted to kind of really give you some valuable insight from this, because how does this all relate to this idea of your attractability, your desirability, your magnetism, your aura, how women are perceiving you differently perhaps to other men? I think you can start to see where it is going, but I just wanted to ask you a question. This is a good question for you to think about. Why would this make sense? What are you doing when you're practicing SR? What is logically happening here? Give you a moment and then I'm going to explain. You are creating space from physical sensation. The body is better able to tolerate the absence of stimulation. That was going back to the previous example with the sexual dreams, right? You're bringing yourself back to baseline. You no longer appear like this needy sexual goblin. Male to male female interaction is no longer charged with sexual servitude. How can this woman please me in the bedroom? She interprets this energy. What is this signifying? What is this changing you, communicating to her that you kind of, you're good with or without her? I'll jump ahead here. She wants you to want her, but she doesn't want you to need her. And that is exactly what you are demonstrating. She interprets this energy as light, playful, fun, instead of an expectation. Can you imagine this? I mean, it'd be nice to imagine this, from the male perspective, but that if a woman approaches you and engages with you, there is an exchange that she wants from you. She wants to take something from you. It's kind of like if you're ever going through high street, right? And there are people selling things. They're like giving you flyers and they're going, oh, can I interest you in, right? You're closed off before you've even opened your mouth to engage, or sometimes you don't even open your mouth to engage with a conversation. But there is a degree of empathy and compassion and putting yourself in a woman's shoes to kind of really get this concept. But that's what she's experiencing when she's just you walking down a high street of people trying to sell you things. She's already, you already know you don't want to speak to these people. These people aren't your people. But when somebody comes up and the interaction is light, playful, it shows in the energy beforehand. I actually really like that analogy. Just came with that up. I'll copyright that, coin it. It's a good one. There's an association of positive emotion, which is the bedrock of attraction and rapport. So now she's starting to realize, right, this person, they don't want anything from me. In fact, what they're offering is they're offering a space where whimsy, play, joy, and all these higher positive emotions can be experienced. There's no taking from me. There's no value exchange here. There's no selling. They're not selling me. They're not pitching me. People don't like to be pitched. People don't like to be sold, okay? Masculine men know how to show intention without attachment. Now, of course, she's not an idiot. She's not blind to the situation. Of course, this individual has probably come up with an intention of maybe vetting her, getting to know her. She's maybe mulled and created a concept in her mind that maybe this individual would like to, is attracted to me. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She's thought about maybe the possibility that there could be this opportunity here, but she didn't know. Well, the other people who were trying to pitch you, you already know. So this element of mystery starts to arise in her mind. Is he interested in me sexually? Is he not? And that's where attraction starts to build in, because there's this magnetic pull and magnetism is the oscillation between a pulling force and a pushing force, right? It's the positive and the negative. And this is what her mind is doing. It's oscillating between the, right, does he want me? He doesn't need me though. He's come up to me, so maybe he wants me, but he's different from the other guy. He doesn't need me. He can create his own positive experience, his own positive energy, and that is inherent in him. So that's bedrock. That's the bedrock of attraction. Now, the antithesis of this, what makes you unattractive? So SR, just to finish off the final point, does this naturally on your behalf without any conscious effort needed, Balancing of the endocrine and the neurological systems bring you back to baseline. So the previous points that I conveyed, they don't require a lot of physical effort from you. You'll kind of naturally slip into the substream because it's the natural baseline inherent to masculine biology, which is a penetrative force, right? And also non-emotional, right? The problem with PMO is its influence on emotional instability. Emotional instability does not market stability in a relationship. And this is inherently repulsive to the feminine. Really key point I'm highlighting here. So these are really key points. She wants you to want her, but not need her. Remember, emotional instability does not market. You're marketing yourself when you're entering a conversation with a woman. You are marketing yourself. Emotional instability does not market value. Doesn't market value. It's the antithesis of value. It's repulsive. Now, just one last point. This is a really interesting point. Your emotional state manifests. Irrespective of the emotional state, remember, reality does not discriminate. It is reflexive. I'm just going to end on this. We're nearly here, guys. One of the most important points for you to understand this. Reality is reflexive. Reality parrots back the emotional state you covet inside. Covet means you're cultivating, you're growing, you're caring for it. If you're cultivating and growing an inner state fraught with emotional highs and lows, a perfect storm of emotional inconsistency is mirrored in the kind of women you energetically are aligned with. Remember, reality doesn't think, oh, this woman is bad, this person is bad, therefore they're meant for each other. Put the bad people together. No, it's noticing, right, this individual is oscillating at this emotional level of depression and lethargy and apathy, and by coherence, right, it just puts them together, right? They attract each other. There's a really interesting experiment where and this is off the top of the dome here, where they put 100 metronomes in the room. I'm trying to remember what the scientific phenomenon is called, but they start the metronomes at different times. So it's just chaos, right? All these click, 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 click. It's chaos in the room, right? But at the end of the select controlled period of time, all the metronomes are in alignment. So it's coherence. It's almost like social what would you call it? Influence. Like it influences your psychology, whether you're respective or not. I'm sure there's another word. If you remember the term that I'm blanking on right now, you would help me out. So unstable, emotional, irrational, radical leftists type, they attract each other. Why is the girl with the blue hair, the pink hair, and the green hair, why are they all friends together? Why do you think? Because they're all like that. Irrespective of surface level attraction, they will serve only as a tool to perpetuate your emotional turmoil. Juggling the weight of two energetic black holes is a foolish endeavor, usually motivated, this is key by the way, usually motivated by failing to distinguish between loneliness and isolation. Solitude, pardon me. Loneliness and solitude. Isolation has negative connotations. Solitude, enjoying your own presence. Loneliness, neediness. I need something. I don't like being with myself. Plus the neediness to hit the sexual crack pipe. Right. This is an incompetent mood. Instead, exercise solitude. Bear your own cross first before you can help anybody else. Leverage introspective exercises to build more connections in the prefrontal cortex to get started. Of course, my Patreon, as always, will share with you breathwork, meditation, all the tools that you need to covet. You need to covet this state. You need to covet and love your own presence, your own you need to have a relationship with you first, right? These are not theories, these are facts. Speak soon.